Idaho Sports Talk, Prater and the Ball Game, and this is going to be a fun one, guys. And I don't know who's with us, but Prater and myself, we got a kick out of watching the Grey Cup on Sunday, and our man, former Boise State quarterback, head coach of the Toronto Argonauts, Ryan Dinwiddie, and his team win that Grey Cup, his second Grey Cup championship now in 3 years. And these are such fun interviews, getting to talk to the head coach of a championship team just a couple of days after he holds on to the trophy. Ryan Dinwiddie with us. RD, you champion son of a gun. Welcome back, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I anticipated it happening last week, but it was sure rewarding that we got it done.
Yeah, underdogs, backup quarterbacks. It didn't get in the way of Ryan Dinwiddie. He's winning another Grey Cup. Ryan, what makes this one so special?
Just the adversity, losing our starting quarterback for 9 games, then losing them in the Eastern Final at the end, having a backup quarterback come in and play in the East Final, get us here, and then the performance he put on, as far as managing the game. And it's just like our whole team, I said, look, guys, we got to score on defense. We did that in every playoff game. We scored on special teams, and we also got a turnover inside the 20 on special teams, another focal point for us. So those guys did what we needed to do to make sure we won football games, and I'm so proud of that unit.
The second in 3 years, like you heard me say, RD, better coaching job for head coach Ryan Dinwiddie. Grey Cup two years ago or Grey Cup last week?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're all different. I think the first one's rewarding. I just, stared out the window for a few hours before the buses left after winning the first one, going, I can't believe it. We got it done so quickly, right? And then, we had a great year last year, didn't finish. That was tough pill to swallow, but you can't change that. Went in this year and, I had some adversity, like we said, and, got it done. Just happy for those guys. But the second one, it's not as fulfilling as the first one. The first one's more like a breath of fresh air, like, oh, thank goodness, So, but it was fun to watch our guys grow this season.
He's Ryan Dinwiddie, former Boise State quarterback legend, now a 2-time Canadian Football League Grey Cup champion. Ryan, I want to ask you, because Ballgame and I talked about this on Monday, and I think the game had the same effect on us. We both watched it. And, I think I can also speak for Ballgame in terms of, I got emotional after watching that game finish and the reaction. And I'm just this old fat guy sports writer, and I don't get emotional over a couple of things. And for some reason, it's not like I'm crying. And I know Johnny was jumping up and down, having crazy impact. What kind of impact do you have on people? And how much does that lead into your coaching?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of folks don't know what I stand for. I'm a little bit misunderstood, I would say that. You got to be in my circle to really understand what I'm about. Obviously, my players understood that. It was great. I got to share that opportunity with my dad. I think he got dunked in the Gatorade too, getting too close. He's trying to get on the camera, and he got a little action of it. So, but you just seen how excited my players were just to dunk me and all those things, and our moments in the last few days. Pretty unique, and they know I care about them, and all I care about is winning and treating them with the proper respect.
Yeah, and you're emotional as well, and I love the way you handle your business. And I think you did this a couple years ago when you won your first Grey Cup, because I couldn't find you when you were post-game. You weren't doing a lot of interviews. You weren't in the camera like your dad. And the same thing this past Sunday. You just kind of stood back. You let the players have their moment. You kind of chilled with your family for a minute. You did a quick interview, and you got out of the way. So the emotions and just the way you handle that kind of post-game celebration business, really cool, Ryan.
Yeah, no doubt. I told our players before the game, after the game, you guys get on that stage. It's about you guys. And then the ownership came up to me and wanted me to get up there. I said, no, you guys take the Grey Cup. You guys do all the small things and financial things for us. You deserve this, and you hand it to the players and spend time with the family. I was probably the first one off the field. I said, let's go in the locker room. Like, that's the fun part. Let's get out of here. So we went in the locker room, and I told her before the game, we let every family member be in there, and it was a zoo. Luckily, I knew my way around BC Place. You had to navigate security there a bit, but found my way through the back entrance, and I got to spend some time with our guys. So it was, and I got to spend it with my family. Right, they all drove to California. My wife's family's right there in Vancouver, so we all got to share it. It was a special week.
Yeah, it was a perfect location and a cool stadium that the Grey Cup was played in Vancouver, BC. Ryan Dinwiddie, head coach, Toronto Argonauts, Canadian football Grey Cup champion, with us on Prater and the Ball Game. RD, how you feeling right now? I mean, physically, dude, I know you were partying on Sunday after this. You took a day off. You guys had your parade, rally, whatever you call it, yesterday. I'm sure, bottles were opened. Like, dude, you hung over right now, RD?
I'm just nursing my way back. So yesterday morning, on the flight back, they get me every time. So as soon as I get to sleep, they wake me up. And it's tough for me to sleep. The kids were asleep. I get to sleep. They're like, come on. I'm like, oh, man. All right, let's do it. So, and then, then I was hurting big time yesterday before the rally. Jumped in the hot bath. Like I got to get ready for this thing. And then as soon as that thing was over, I got the heck out of there. And, we got the Leafs game tonight. We got the Raptors game tomorrow. We have our exit meetings right now. Just finished with those players. Now they're in the locker room going, come on, coach, you got to get back there. I said, guys, I'm north of 40 now. I don't know if I can do it. So.
It is hard now.
Ryan Dinwiddie, north of 40. Oh, my gosh, that's a shocking headline. I don't want to hear that. What kind of – and you talked about the tour. You talked about the parade, of the hockey appearances. What's it like in Canada when the Grey Cup? What's the vibe there like? What kind of feelings are you feeling when it comes to the last 3 days?
Well, I think it's, you take pride in representing, obviously United States of America. A lot of us are from the United States to come up here to play Canada. And then you want to represent Canada in the right way. They give us opportunity to play football where the NFL, doesn't for a lot of us, right? So,
yep.
It's great environment, each city, it's different. Toronto's a huge city, right? And they haven't had a lot of success lately. For us to bring that there and see the fan base show up and understand what we're building, take our players in and make them part of the cities, as well as my family, right? We've been here year-round for 5 years. It's pretty unique.
Yeah, Toronto's been really good to Ryan Dinwiddie and the Dinwiddie family. I would imagine the Grey Cup, similar to like the Stanley Cup, you get a day with it. You can take it places, whatever you want to do. What does RD want to do with the Grey Cup this offseason?
Yeah, so last year we went to Niagara Falls. We rented a limo. There's a bunch of wineries over there. So we took all the kids and the adults, obviously, right? So we had babysitters there, a driver, so we could have fun. Great time. This year I'm not quite sure yet. I'm trying to make plans for Friday. But I've more let my players have time with it. But we'll do something as a coach and staff and figure out something pretty neat to do. But yeah, I haven't touched it too much. But I'm certain there's gonna be a day where I'm just gonna. I normally sleep with her. I call her. And I told our players that I said, you got to the dance. Let's go ahead and make sure we can take her home. Right. That's always one of my speeches. So. Yeah, my son's normally sleep for me too with the Grey Cup.
So cool.
I like that an awful lot. The presentation, and you obviously grew up watching Super Bowls, dude. But the presentation on TV and the capacity and the crowd and the scene on Sunday was really, really stinking cool. And I kind of wanted you to talk about that because we're not as familiar with the Grey Cup around here as we are the Super Bowl. But I got a serious Super Bowl vibe watching that game on Sunday. Maybe your presence certainly helped. And I guess my more specific question is, did you get to meet the Jonas Brothers?
No, didn't get a chance to meet them. We got Taylor Swift in town in Toronto right now. So big buzz around here. It's going to be tough to get in the Leafs game and the Raptors tomorrow. So that's why we moved the parade up yesterday, right? Just so we can, handle downtown with everything that's going on. That's Toronto. There's always something going on. But no, I think when you look at the Grey Cup, you'll see a fan from every team that comes, each year. Pretty unique to see. It's a party. People have their fun. Us as players and coaches, we're just focused on the game. And then, the week after the game is when you kind of get to relish in what you did this season.
Ryan Dinwiddie, former Boise State quarterback, WAC Offensive Player of the Year. Now he's won 2 Grey Cups as the head coach of the Toronto Argonauts. This is our Dollar Loan Center video segment. And RD, when this does kind of calm down after, the basketball and the hockey game you guys are going to, what does Ryan Dinwiddie and his family like to do every year after a season when you can finally kind of kick your feet up?
Yeah, it depends. Last year we went to California. Hadn't been there in a while. The year before we went to Kelowna, visit my in-laws. The year before that's when we won it. We were going to the Bahamas. So we'll figure out something. I'm thinking about going back to California, maybe going to Maui for a few days after that.
Nice.
But right now I'm just going through free agency and trying to crunch some numbers of how we can make this work when we hit it in February. So let's get a head start on that. I'll probably give myself a week, but even my wife will even say, like, even when we're at vacation, whatever, I'm always stealing some time to go to work. So it never stops.
Yeah. There's no such thing as an off season anymore. It's crazy. The free agency starts right off the bat. Hey, on the television broadcast the other day, Ryan, they kept dropping the D word, and I'm not talking Dinwiddie. I'm talking dynasty. I would imagine that kind of conversation makes you uncomfortable, but you are building something magical there, and you don't deny that.
Yeah, no doubt. I was a part of one in Calgary. We went to 3 Grey Cups in a row, and we won it with our worst team. The 2 teams that were really good, we didn't finish. Obviously our best team, 16-2 last year, we didn't finish. So I think we have the quarterback and play for it. I'm looking forward to that, I guess, excitement going in the season and the expectations. And I think we got the right guys in the building. And if we can be a dynasty, I think that'll be pretty neat. I don't really worry about my legacy too much. I really like it for my players, but I think it'd be pretty neat for my sons to look back on, 20, 30 years from now.
Yeah, the whole family dynamic on Sunday and certainly behind the scenes with you was pretty cool. What makes, and this is my last one here, I know you got to get back to your hangover cure. What makes Ryan Dinwiddie such a good Grey Cup / CFL football coach?
Well, I think I've been in the CFL for a long time. Do it my way. Obviously learn from other folks, but I'm gonna do it my way. I think, I just can relate to the players. Each day is going to be different. How can we put them in a good spot? Where they feel like healthy? Are they beat up? Do we need a day of more walkthrough and teaching? I think, I just attack each day. I look forward to it. And then this is one thing I always tell our players too, when it gets to big games and, those are your biggest moments. That's the easiest part. So once I get in the playoffs, I feel like I call my best games. I feel feel more comfortable going into it. And my dad, this last game at halftime, I was like, man, these guys got to settle down. What's wrong with them? My dad's like, oh, you look so calm. I'm like, yeah, it's a big game. Of course I'm calm. Like, you see me week 5 when we're 2-3, that's when I'm more, worried about all kinds of stuff, right? We're the big game now, big moment, big players and big coaches, show up in those moments.
Yeah, I don't want to say I doubted it at some point, but I keep track of the CFL standings here and there. There was a time during the year you're like, I don't know what RD's going to do until he gets his quarterback back. Just hung in the fight, qualifies for the playoffs, gets to another Grey Cup and wins it. RD, in our studio, we have to get you in here sometime. Hell, do a whole show with us. But you gave us a replica championship ring of the last time you won the Grey Cup, and we keep it in this studio, and it's beautiful. And I hate doing this.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
RD,
do it.
Can we have another one when you win this Grey Cup? Will you please send us another championship ring?
Oh, you guys got it. I'm gonna save about 20 normally, right? So I send them to the guys that coach me to help me get to this stage. Some of my family and friends and those things, but you guys are obviously family and friends. So I sent it to Coach Pete and Hawk too. Those guys really were fired up about it. So those guys got another one coming.
Wow. So we got the same ring Chris Peterson and Dan Hawkins received. And that is why you listen